So we got immune response. So let's say we get stage 1. Ben, read stage 1. What does it say?
Pathogens invade the body.
Okay, how could we show through diagrams pathogens invading the body? Zoe.
Like somebody sneezing on somebody else.
Okay, you could draw a picture of someone sneezing on someone else. Yeah, Here we go. Here's my stick person. Here's my other stick person. Right? This stick person has a face. So does this one. They got a nose. They're going to sneeze. They're going to spray droplets directly at that person. That's a really bad picture, but that's kind of what's going on. Other way you could show this. You could draw a picture of maybe a pathogen, okay, or a germ. So we're going to label this as being a germ. Then I'm going to draw a little arrow. The germ is going inside of somebody. Step 1. Step 2, Ben.
Macrophages.
Macrophages.
Macrophages engulf pathogens.
Right, and macrophages are a type of phagocyte. So what did we draw to represent
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man, right? So read it one more time, Ben. Macrophages.
Macrophages engulf pathogens.
Okay, macrophages engulf pathogens. So here's Pac-Man. He is our macrophage. And Pac-Man eats. So here are the little dots. What do the little dots represent? Pathogens. Here are our pathogens. Okay, so that's step 2. We have our macrophages. Are these specific or non-specific response? Miguel? Try again. Okay, why are these non-specific? These phagocytes, these macrophages. They're eating pathogens.
Didn't say what type.
Doesn't say what type, right? They're going to work the same way regardless of what type of pathogen they encounter. Whether it's a bacteria, fungus, virus, it doesn't matter. They always do the same thing, which is work to get rid of infected cells and pathogens. Okay, third. Ben, go ahead.
Macrophages digest pathogen and T cells recognize
Antigens.
antigens.
Okay, so the first part of it, so we get a macrophage again. How can we show that the macrophage has engulfed or taken in a pathogen?
You draw it in.
Yeah, so I'm going to draw my pathogen inside of my macrophage. So he's destroyed it, he's taken it in, it's no longer out in the body. What's the second part of it?
T cells recognize antigen.
There's a T cell. They're going to recognize an antigen. Okay, so antigens are found where? Where's an antigen found? On the surface of a... Yep.
A cell?
A cell, what kind of cell? Good cell, bad cell?
I don't know.
Bad cell, right? So here's our bacteria. All pathogens have an antigen. Here's the antigen. Looks like a flag, right? That's how we know which pathogen it is, because they each have a flag, each their own flag. So if a T cell recognizes the antigen, if I'm walking down the street and I see someone and I recognize them, I might say, aha! I know you. So this T cell has now recognized the antigen that's present on the pathogen. Okay, what's step 4?
T cells bind to antigen.
Step 4, T cells bind to antigen. Here's our germ. Here's our flag, which is our antigen. Okay, now I need to show that the T cell has bound to it. What does bound mean, or bind? If I bind to you.
Grab a hold of.
Grab a hold of. Connect. I'm stuck. Right? So here's our T cell. It's bound to. It's stuck to our pathogen. Okay? Step 5.
B cells bind to.
Now we got some B cells coming in.
Bind to antigen and helper T cell.
Okay, so here's our germ. Our T cell is still here. It's still stuck. Here's our antigen, our little flag. Now what do we have that's stuck to it?
B cell.
A B cell. B cell. Stuck. So basically what's going on is you have all these cells that are coming and attaching to the germ, to the antigen. That's basically like labeling it. So if I put a tag on Zoe that said bad and made her walk down the hallway, everyone would walk by and go, oh, Zoe must be bad. She's got a label, it says bad. It's basically telling everybody that you're bad. Same thing here. These T cells and B cells sticking to this germ are telling the rest of the immune system, this is a bad cell. We need to get rid of it. Step 6.
B cells split to produce plasma cells.
So now we get B cells, and all this is going to do, these B cells are going to become more than one. They're going to split and divide. And they call these B cells plasma cells. Because if you have pathogens inside of you, they're going to divide, multiply, infect cells, so your body needs more B cells to keep up with the pathogen multiplying. So now all these new B cells are going to go find more germs, more pathogens, and try to stick to them so they can label them as bad and infected cells. Step 7.
Plasma cells produce antibodies into the bloodstream.
Okay, so here's our B cell, which is also a plasma cell. They're going to make what's called an antibody. Whenever you see antibodies in a book, usually they look like this. They look like Y's. So these Y's are antibodies. And it's going to send them where? Into the bloodstream. Here's my bloodstream. Looks like a road. And inside this bloodstream, you have a bunch of antibodies. Okay? Step 8.
Antibodies bind to help other cells identify and destroy the pathogens.
Okay, so we get the same thing. Here's our germ. Our T cell is still stuck to it. Here's the antigen. We get our B cell that's still stuck to it. Okay? Now we're going to come out with all these antibodies. And guess what? These are also going to be stuck to it. Okay? So it's just another way of identifying and labeling this germ as being bad. This is an infected cell. We need to get rid of it. So this is how the immune response works. And if anyone's wondering, does anyone know what B cell stands for? Why it's called a B cell? It's where it's produced in the body. Zach?
Bacteria.
Not bacteria. It's in the middle of bones. It's found in the middle of bones. It's called bone marrow. So B cells, the B is short for bone marrow. That's where they're produced. T cells are produced in a structure called the thymus. They're both white blood cells. So if you're wondering what the B and the T mean or what they stand for, that's where each one is made. B cells are made in the bone marrow. T cells are made in the thymus. Okay? Go ahead, Amber. Cut.